Well, good morning, guys. Thank you all for being here this morning. My name is Alex Kuhn, and it's with great excitement this morning that I'm announcing that I will be an at-large candidate for the Mason City City Council come November 8th. It's with great excitement. I talked to a lot of friends, family, colleagues, and decided that my experience and passion for public service makes me a great candidate for the Mason City City Council to represent the people of Mason City. Before I go any further, I want to introduce my biggest supporters here who have made their way to the front of the stage. My wife Melissa, our oldest son Rylan here, and our youngest son Colin. We chose to announce here in front of our house because this is a community we work in, this is a community our kids go to school in. It's where we're going to raise our kids, and we want to make it the best community possible for them to grow up in. And realizing that they're probably not going to sit here for the next 5 minutes still, I think they're going to step inside. And I'll finish the rest of the comments myself. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up on a farm about 5 miles south of Charles City. I went to Iowa State University, studied political science and education. I was planning on getting a teaching degree when my father, State Representative Mark Kuhn, had a serious farm accident, which caused me to come home and finish the harvest and take over things and work with our neighbors to finish up the harvest that year. Later that winter, I headed down to the state legislature and worked for my dad as a legislative clerk. And I've always had a passion for public service and community service, but it was in the legislature that year when I really realized what you can do to stand up for people that don't have a voice or really are in need. The first half of that session, my dad was in a wheelchair due to that accident, and we realized the Capitol was not accessible to people with disabilities. And we went as far as we could to make sure that people that needed ADA compliance had accessibility to their public officials, and were able to talk to their officials, get in there and talk about issues. Also, we made sure that all public buildings in the state of Iowa were ADA accessible. We found out at the time they were not, but after we got to work on that issue, they were, and it's something that we're really proud of that we worked on down there. After working in the legislature for 2 years, I continued working in public service and worked for U.S. Senator Tom Harkin in his Des Moines office for 2 years. That took me across the state talking about different issues at the federal level. And at that time I made 2 very good decisions. I decided to move back here to Mason City and marry my wife Melissa. We came back here. The first position I took was as a long-term substitute teacher in the Mason City School District, teaching government, and also had a stint in the German class. After that, I worked at United Way of North Central Iowa for 3 years. I was the campaign and marketing director there. My first day at United Way was Monday, June 10th, 2008, which happened to be the Monday after the floods. And I worked at United Way for about 3 months, just continually cleaning up flood homes, making sure people had a place to stay that were flooded out of their homes. And it was a great experience to see how all the people of Mason City could come together on an issue and get it resolved. And since then, I've just started a position at Hinkle Construction Company working in business development. But Mason City has been a wonderful place for my wife and I to live, work, and raise our 2 young boys. If I should have the honor to be elected to the Mason City Council, I look forward to working with fellow council members to enhance our community's strengths while correcting our weaknesses. I'm a true believer in effective and efficient government for its citizens. I have worked at both the state and federal levels of government and realized to make things get done and get issues solved for the citizens, you have to work towards a consensus and work towards a common goal. And that's something I know if I have the honor to be elected, I'll never agree 100% of the time with fellow councilmen, but you can guarantee that I will work civilly, I will work respectfully with them to get the job done for the citizens of Mason City. Some of the issues that I want to talk about throughout the campaign are fostering economic development, creating city policy to enhance economic development, and partner with our local business community. Also, citizen advocacy and volunteerism is something that's very close to me. Standing up for the everyday citizen when in need, and increasing volunteer efforts in the city of Mason City. Some of the greatest things we do in Mason City are led by volunteers, like the United Way cleaning up the flood homes, the East Park, many of the flower gardens in town, the Cannonball locomotive we just celebrated this weekend. So we need to increase our volunteerism in Mesa City. Quality of life, enriching our amenities for residents and marketing our community to visitors and business. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, a sound city budget, maintaining our city services while keeping in line on local taxes. I believe I am the first candidate to announce for the at-large position of the City Council, and I look forward to anyone else who is planning on getting into the race to have a 100% positive and issues-oriented debate. The citizens of Mason City have my word that I'll keep it 100% positive about the issues, because if we begin mudslinging, name-calling, and getting negative, the only people that lose are the citizens of Mason City. In the weeks and months to come, I plan to be walking around Mason City, going door to door, getting signatures for my nomination petition, having public events to earn the votes of the people of Mason City. Once again, thank you all for being here, and I'm excited to kick this campaign off today. Thank you very much.